Hi, good afternoon. Matrix, sorry it sounds a bit tinny, but I'm going to explain to you the task you're about to do. Hopefully you'll understand how everything works, and good luck. Right, obviously you got the front page, your declaration, the mock assessment. Okay, purpose, project-based learning. Learners are expected to research about poor service delivery and focusing on access to clean water and compile a report. Report must include possible causes, highlights, etc. and etc. Right. Remember, you're doing a survey. The question is with this file in Classroom? Obviously, this file will be on YouTube, but all the other files are in Classroom as been instructed. Also, notice that line, do your own work. Right, 6 activities, there's the marks. They say 2 to 4 weeks and must be in class time. Unfortunately, we do not have class time, so you'll be completing it at home. It will be in before the 13th of May. After that, we do not accept any work. Right, this is your question or activity 2 you have to read. Let's look at some concepts. You can read these. Then activity 1, introduction. Explain what is meant by poor access to clean water. So it is 1 mark times 2. So it means you need to make a statement and qualify it with your description. Second one, identify and explain the possible underlying factors that lead to limited availability of clean water in our country. So you have to explain at least 2 factors with explanations to give 4 marks. Underlying factors, you can look at economics, corruption, fraud, poor infrastructure maintenance, load shedding. Access your own position and experience regarding other poor service delivery challenges, issues in your community or close to your community. Once again, 2 positions and you have to explain it for 4 marks. That can be waste disposal, water problems. I would avoid water because we've already answered that. Load shedding, potholes, waste, block pipers, that type of thing. Right, activity 2. Literature and article review. Read the article attached thoroughly and to get a comprehensive understanding of the topic. Take note of other recommended articles that can help you throughout your literature review. Your report on your literature review should be in an essay format using the following guidelines. That means each of these dots should be in its own paragraph. Right. Explain why poor access to clean water is regarded as a human rights violation. So you're going to say why it's a human rights violation. Quote from the Constitution, the Human Rights chapter. I think something like you have a right to a safe and clean environment, and obviously you say that in your own words. identify one law legislation in South Africa that address the issue of poor access to clean water and explain the purpose of the law identified. So 1 mark would be for the law, and the other 2 marks is for your explanation as well as example. Discuss, remember 3, because you'll see over here at the marks it says 3. Other issues that can arise in the community due to lack of unequal access to clean water, and explain how these concerns can be addressed from a human rights perspective. You can look here at electricity, housing, infrastructure like roads, that type of thing. Right, all the government levels must play their role in addressing poor service delivery, such as water crisis. Critically examine how the following can play a role in addressing issues of water accessibility and quality. So, you're going to discuss government policies and government structure. Each one is 4 marks. What policy? What does it mean? Example. Same with government structure. Who's responsible? What are they responsible? Explain, and then example. Right, 19 marks. Right, activity 3, data and gathering from research, survey, and interview. There is attached questionnaires. They said here, interview 7 learners or adults at your school community about their knowledge on poor service delivery, such as water crisis, and the importance of voting to address such issues. I would look here at maybe some of the adults, not the grade 8s and 9s. They do intellectually challenged about these things. So speak to your parents, cousins, nephews, that type of thing. You can interview them. The copy of the questionnaire is available in Classroom. I would suggest take the questions, make a Google form, and then send it via WhatsApp or email to these people, to the fact that you don't have to do a lot of the answering. The Google Forms can do all this stuff for you within seconds, plus you can stick it in your book as proof that you did do the research. Because if you look, it says here, draw a bar graph to present your data. Provide a statistical analysis by using the questionnaire and the response data that you've gathered from 7 respondents. If you want to go more, there's your choice, but nothing less than 7. For each of the questions in your survey form, just a reminder, do not fill this 7 question sheets in by yourself. You're going to skew your research. Rather do it correctly, get other people's answers, and then just review the results. Do not try and cheat here. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Right. Then it says your bar graph must indicate the X and Y axis. Use scales such as keywords, and you can read the rest there. It's for 4 marks. But if you work through Google Forms will draw the bar graph for you. So it can either be a pie chart or it can be setting to a bar graph. All you have to do then is copy it, print, put it in your file or in your book. Right, part B is on research. You have to obviously compile a report, explain this impact of social and economic factors on access to clean water. You can look at there at unemployment, poverty, low income areas, etc. Remember, it's 3 points with a description, if you can provide an example and or a reference. Remember, you have to do a reference list at the end. Right, describe the role of the infrastructure in providing access to clean water, both urban and rural areas. Okay, house infrastructure. Now this we can refer to as your water pipes, your water sewage centers, that type of thing. How is their role in both urban and rural? A lot of times rural areas do not have access to clean water because there's no sewage plants or anything like that close by. Look into that. Is the government and the local authorities doing enough to address issues related to water crisis in our communities? Provide reasons for your answers. So you need to give 3 answers and describe each one of your statements or answers. If you say no because of this, you have to expand to get your marks. Assess possible long-term consequences of consuming contaminated water on food security. That's also 2 times 4, so it's 2 consequences. What is the consequences? Describe the consequences, provide an example, and if you can, a reference, and that's 31 marks. Activity 4, findings. Provide a report on your findings from the information gathered. Use the following guidelines to present your findings. Right, South African will be casting votes with the hope to getting a better service such as clean water from the leaders of choice. Do you think voting plays a role in ensuring effective service delivery in your communities? Provide reasons for your answers. If you say yes, provide 2 reasons with 2 explanations. If you say no, same deal, 2 reasons, 2 explanations. Describe how social media such as Twitter can be used to expose poor service delivery. Remember, we're speaking about it currently. It is immediate. A lot of people can deliver their opinions, etc., etc. Once again, 2 answers with 2 definitions or descriptions. Social media platforms have become a very useful tool for people to raise their voices. However, it can be also a platform to destroy and cause propaganda. Evaluate 2 ways which through social media can be abused and manipulated in the context of reporting poor service delivery. Okay, so it's 2 ways, and then it's once again, what is the way? Describe the way, example. You can look at censorship, misinformation, fake news, government propaganda, that type of thing. Right, so that is once again 16 marks. In the end, activity 5, recommendations. Recommend 2 systems or mechanisms that the government can put in place to implement to ensure accountability of the government officials in improving adequate and quality service delivery. So what systems would you put in place to make sure officials are doing their jobs? Once again, you need to provide a reason, a statement or a system or a plan, and then explain it. Suggest ways in which campaigns, projects, and events can play a role in addressing poor service delivery such as a water crisis. So what can campaigns do So you would say campaign, explain, example, project, explain, example, events, explain, example. Right, last page, activity 6. Write your list of references containing at least 4 sources used in compiling this project. See attached Harvard Guide for referencing. It was handed out to you, so any resource you use or accidentally find in classroom, please remember to quote it correctly. If it's not done by the Harvard method, you are going to lose marks. Right, and that is it. Good luck. Remember, if you're stuck, ask your teacher.